Hello, I'm Jesslyn Hoskin, and today I will teach you all about the momentum in baseball. Momentum is mass times velocity.
Which is how much it will hurt when it hits me.
Units for momentum are kilogram meters per second. Also, momentum can change. Impulse causes that change, and its unit is a Newton second. The impulse momentum theorem is impulse equals delta momentum, which is the same thing as time force equal to mass times delta velocity. The law of conservation of momentum is when two or more objects collide, and then the total momentum of the two objects together remains the same. Speaking of collisions, there are two major types of collisions, inelastic and elastic. Inelastic includes perfectly inelastic collisions as well. An inelastic collision is when things collide and lose kinetic energy. That kinetic energy is converted into heat energy. Like when one catches a baseball, the energy of the caught ball is transferred into heat, and the ball doesn't bounce away from the mitt. The perfectly inelastic collision is when objects stick together when they collide and move with each other. Let's go back to catching the ball. As the mitt catches the ball, the mitt moves back a little along with the ball. The initial momentum of the moving baseball will equal the final momentum. Another equation for this is mass 1 times velocity 1 initial plus mass 2 times velocity 2 initial equals to the parentheses mass 1 plus mass 2 parentheses times final velocity. Another kind of collision is the elastic collision. This happens when objects do not stick together after a collision and do not lose kinetic energy. An example of this is when a bat hits a ball. The bat and ball do not stick together, and the bat transfers its energy to the ball, so there is no loss in kinetic energy. The initial kinetic energy will equal the final kinetic energy. Another way of writing this is half mass 1 times velocity 1 initial squared plus half mass 2 times velocity 2 initial squared equals half mass 1 times velocity 1 final squared plus half mass 2 times velocity second final squared. The momentum also does not change from initial to final. Another way of writing this is mass 1, velocity 1 initial plus mass 2, velocity 2 initial equals mass 1, velocity 1 final plus mass 2, velocity 2 final. Another type of collision is recoil, but that only occurs when both objects are initially at rest and momentum equals 0.